Smallmouth bass hanging around rock piles, schooling white bass, big kipe-jawed cutbank browns, and stillwater predators of all kinds are going to eat this Lil Kim fly. Start by pinching the barb on a Daiichi 2461 size 4 hook. Insert the point of the hook into the small hole of a nickel-plated conehead bead. Slide the bead up to the eye of the hook and firmly secure the hook bend in the jaws of your trusty tying vise. If you're going for a heavier fly, this is where you want to add some wire to the hook. Run that wire up behind the conehead bead. I'm keeping this one light for fishing on a sinking line. Get a base of Olive Flymaster Plus started on the shank and run it all the way back to the bend of the hook. Dark olive strung marabou makes up the tail and wing on this fly. Stroke the marabou fibers to a bushy point and measure the length against your hook. I keep mine short, just a bit longer than the hook shank. Add a bit of saliva to tame the bushy marabou before wrapping it in. Use your non-tying hand to keep the forward-facing tag of marabou on the top of the hook shank while you bring your thread forward to the hook eye. I didn't do the best job on mine, but it's more for aesthetics. Cover the marabou body with some additional wraps as you bring your thread back to the original tie-in point. There we can add some silver angel flash. This fly is all about movement. Angel flash moves in rhythm with the marabou, making it superior to crystal flash or even tinsel in this area. Tie in 1 or 2 pieces on each side of the hook and trim any tag ends or tie them down with thread wraps. The next material we need is a synthetic hackle flash. Mix and match the flash color to correspond with the primary color of your fly. I'm using silver with this olive pattern. Cut a 4 to 5 inch piece and tie one side of the woven core in at the back of the fly with the excess flash hanging off the rear. Then grab some holographic silver tinsel for the underbody material. This material is going to add just a bit of contrasting shine and color to the body of the fly. Red is another great color choice for this step. Trim a small piece and tie it in over the hackle flash. Use the rotary function of your vise or some hackle pliers to make consecutive wraps of tinsel all the way up the main body of the fly. Remember, it's just the underbody portion of the fly, so it doesn't really have to look perfect. Capture the tinsel behind the conehead bead and trim off any excess. Then, with spiral wraps, we can bring the hackle flash forward, preening the materials towards the rear with each consecutive wrap. Consider spacing the wraps further apart than I did to allow more of the underbody to show through at the end. Tie off your hackle flash at the front of the fly and trim the tag. We need to add the wing next, so more marabou it is. This fly has got to have a lot of movement, and this wing will add significant body to an otherwise skinny pattern. Make sure you grab a very robust marabou feather, or be sure to use 2 if the individual feathers aren't bulky enough. Measure this wing to extend just beyond the bend of the hook. Capture the fibers behind the conehead bead and trim any excess marabou. Use thread wraps to build up a little collar behind the bead before flattening the wing a bit with your thumb to spread it out on top of the hook shank. You just want to make sure it evenly covers the top side of the fly. For the lateral line of our little bait fish, I'm going to use pearl tinsel, but there are plenty of great materials you could use here. Just tie the tinsel in at one side of the fly, then bring the tag end of tinsel over the top of the fly and to the other side, and capture it there so that the tinsel lays down the middle. Another small but very important step on most bait fish patterns is a red saltwater angel hair throat. Just take a small clump of angel hair and double it over the thread, zip lining the material down to the underside of the fly. Make a few secure wraps to capture the flashy material and then trim it to extend just nearly to the hook point. The final material and the final step is a nice soft hackle collar. You'll want to use a good robust saddle hackle feather or, what's traditionally used with a Lil Kim, a schlappen feather. I'm using a grizzly olive feather from a premium cape. Find a feather with some body and stroke the feathers towards the base of the stem to splay them out, preparing it to be tied in soft hackle style. Trim the tip of the feather to form a small triangle tie-in point and bring it to your hook. Use good strong thread wraps to tie the triangle piece in at the back side of that thread collar area. Bring your thread forward to the conehead bead where we'll finish the fly. Start wrapping your hackle feathers forward while stroking the fibers back with each turn around the hook. This will help the soft hackle fibers lay back on the hook and make a much more sleek, streamlined final product. It should take about 3 to 4 turns of your hackle to finish the Lil Kim. Trim off the remaining stem piece and make a few more securing wraps. If you want to add more flash to your wing, this would be an okay time to do it. I prefer mine to be sparse on flash, so I leave it as is. Add a good whip finish and some half hitches, and then trim your thread. Created with movement in mind, a marabou body, and various flash accents, this Lil Kim is almost irresistible to hungry or angry fish. Olive is the traditional color, but I also tie this fly in black and a yellow and brown combo for certain big Montana river systems. Tie up some today. Go to your local fly shop and make sure they have all the Larva Lace products you need to maneuver some Lil Kims. If they don't carry it, ask them to call Lorie at the shop in Mitchell, South Dakota, where many of these products are handcrafted to fly tying perfection. Share your fly tying works of art on the Fly Tying University Facebook page. Growing community for all fly tyers. Larva Lace is a proud partner of the Fish Stories Archive, helping them save angler voices for the future. Thanks for tying with Larva Lace. Here's the tight lines and well-tied flies.